Nintendo's big cheese, Satoru Iwata, announced during a financial results meeting all the way back in January of 2014 that DS games would be making their way to the Wii U Virtual Console. With the DS having a humongous catalog of games that released throughout its life, and with the Wii U having its very own controller with a large touchscreen, it just seems like a perfect fit. The only problem is, Nintendo has been insanely quiet about this almost ever since it was announced. Sure, Nintendo brought Brain Age over, but seriously, who wanted Brain Age? When it's announced that DS games are getting ported to the Wii U, Brain Age isn't going to be your go-to pick. We want our Marios, our Zeldas, our Kirbys, and our Chrono Trigger. I kinda wanna play that. But we haven't heard a peep about it since Brain Age released. It's like Nintendo was sweeping it under the rug and making it seem like it never happened. Okay, maybe they haven't gone that far, but you get my point. The Wii U is seriously lacking DS games even though it was promised that we would be getting them. Maybe they've run into some technical problems that are delaying these games from getting ported. We have no clue at this point. The only thing we can do is ask Nintendo where the games are and speculate on what DS games Nintendo will bring over to the Virtual Console. The DS was insanely successful, and as I stated before, has a boatload of games ranging across first-party and third-party titles. Since it's going to be a little more difficult to get third parties to make the effort to port their past games over, Nintendo might just try to focus on the games they have dished out themselves. I didn't make the greatest game decisions back in the day, so there are numerous DS games that I missed out on, and I wouldn't mind having the chance to crack them open and play them on the Wii U. So I decided to compile a list of 5 DS games that I haven't got to experience and were at least published by Nintendo themselves that I wouldn't mind seeing getting some love on the Wii U. Enjoy! I've pretty much never played a Dragon Quest game in my life, as far as I can recall, but for some reason, I really want to see Nintendo bring Dragon Quest IX Sentinels of the Starry Skies to the Wii U. I've really been jonesing to play a deep and engaging RPG, and Dragon Quest IX seems like a good choice. Since Nintendo published this title in North America, I remember seeing some of the effort they put in trying to advertise this baby, so it's really stuck with me over the years. But alas, I never went out and picked up a copy for myself. I wasn't a huge fan of the RPG genre growing up, because I wasn't totally into the slow-paced gameplay, grinding, and random encounters stopping me every 5 steps. But that corner of the gaming world has actually started to grow on me. I've been itching to play something scrumptious that will satisfy my RPG cravings, and Dragon Quest IX was reviewed quite well, so I'm calling out Nintendo to port this beast over. The only problem that might be holding this game back from getting ported is all of the multiplayer features that would have to get scrapped, whether that be the local wireless multiplayer, the tag mode where players can swap treasure maps if they're in range of one another, or even the downloadable quests. I'd be fine if they ditched all those features, because I'm sure Dragon Quest IX is already chock full of content to begin with, like most RPGs are. With third-person turn-based battles, a deep combo and multiplier system, and extensive customization options, I'm ready for some Dragon Quest goodness on the Wii U Virtual Console. And apparently it can be nasty difficult, so bring it on. I've got my war paint ready. As one of the last remaining games that Nintendo cooked up for their triumphant Nintendo DS, Kirby Mass Attack should get another chance to shine on the Wii U Virtual Console. I don't know how many people missed out on Mass Attack back in the day, since it launched several months after the Nintendo 3DS was already established in North America, Europe, and Japan. I surely didn't play it, which is obviously evident by it being on this list. Mass Attack is unlike any other Kirby platformer out there, and it really takes advantage of the touchscreen of the system, because you don't use any buttons at all, which is similar to the other Kirby DS game, Canvas Curse. With the gamepad in tow, Kirby Mass Attack should be able to transition quite well over to the Wii U. Kirby is already an adorable little super tough pink puff in his own right, but what is better than one lonely Kirby? Easy! A heap of 10 individual Kirbys, or a mountain of 10 individual giant Kirbys. And Mass Attack makes that dream a reality. Plus, I have a screen protector on my gamepad, so I'm all good to go for some Kirby flinging action in the world of Popstar. And I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind if there was a discount on the game if you buy Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. It'd make my wallet happy. There's not much else to say about Kirby Mass Attack other than that it's cute and you get to sick a swarm of Kirbys on unsuspecting bad guys. That Kirby fella doesn't take no prisoners. Rhythm Heaven. When I think of Rhythm Heaven, I think of Rhythm Heaven Fever on the Wii, because that game is an unforgettable experience. There's a sweaty luchador chatting it up with the reporter as she demands to know about the Wubba Dubba Dubba, and then there's the squeaky adorable rolling seals. It'll become so ingrained into your mind that you'll have nightmares for the rest of your life. But anyways, Fever was a pretty awesome little game for the Wii, and I never got the chance to pick up Rhythm Heaven back on the DS. Thinking about it, it would work perfectly on the Wii U gamepad, considering the game has you holding your DS horizontally, and thus it would use the same layout that Brain Age already brought to the table, with the two screens placed side by side on the gamepad screen. I only played the demo for Rhythm Heaven back in the day, when the Nintendo channel was still a thing on the Wii, and you could use the download play feature on the DS to nab demos off of the service. The demo was extremely small, with there being only 1 or 2 different stages to play, but I love the simple yet engaging rhythmic gameplay. Nintendo hasn't made or brought over any games themselves to the Wii U based around the rhythm genre, as far as I can recall, so Nintendo needs to fix that with some Rhythm Heaven goodness. I wouldn't say no to a brand spanking new Rhythm Heaven game on the Wii U, but hey, the DS version will work well enough for now. I'm ready to break out my inner grooviness and show those choir kids who's boss. Pokemon Conquest was one of the last major Nintendo DS games to hit store shelves, alongside Kirby Mass Attack, and I never got the chance to play it. Maybe it was because it released a year into the 3DS's life, and I was focused on Nintendo's successor and the games it would bring to the table, and turn-based strategy didn't really interest me at the time. Plus, I just might not have had the funds to fork over and splurge on Pokemon Conquest. Money doesn't grow on trees, you know. But whatever the case was, Nintendo should bring the game to the Wii U Virtual Console. If you thought Hyrule Warriors was a crossover you thought you would never see happen, well, Pokemon Conquest takes the cake on this one. The World of Zelda is a pretty good match for Dynasty Warriors, but Pokemon Conquest, yeah, it's one of the weirdest crossovers we have seen from the big N. Who in their wildest dreams would have thought that we'd get a game that blended together Pokemon and Nobunaga's ambition? Well, I sure didn't, because I had no stinking clue what this Nobunaga thingamajig was until Conquest was announced. Nobunaga's ambition, although about Japanese warlord history stuffy stuff, is centered around turn-based strategy, and that gels pretty well with Pokemon's turn-based battles. And we don't have many turn-based strategy games on the Wii U currently, so having Pokemon Conquest would help fill in that hole. The game actually reviewed quite well for such an oddball experience, and I'd be open to taking on the role of a warlord and controlling a legion of Pokemon on the field of battle. As I acquire more and more castles and train up new Pokemon and warriors, I will become the greatest warlord the world has ever seen. Move over, Genghis Khan. Bradzilla's coming. Nintendo already brought Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga over to the Wii U, so it would only make sense to drop off one or more of its relatives as well. The Mario & Luigi series was pretty fruitful on the DS, since the franchise saw not one but 2 installments throughout its lifetime, with those being Partners in Time and Bowser's Inside Story. I haven't played either game, and since we're being technical here, I can only pick one of them. But I did a little snooping around on the interwebs, and I hear that Bowser's Inside Story is the better of the two. So I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon and pick the title with King Koopa himself front and center. Plus, Bowser's Inside Story reviewed super well, and it's actually the highest rated Mario & Luigi title, so apparently it's pretty darn good. And what makes Bowser's Inside Story so different from the rest is that you get to trample throughout the game as the scaly behemoth himself, as you try to take down the villain Fawful, who's taking control of the Mushroom Kingdom. Of course, Mario and Luigi are there, but they've been sucked into Bowser's gelatinous innards, and the trio must work together even though Bowser has no clue that the Mario Bros are inside his plumpy body. The Mario and Luigi games are known for having engaging turn-based battles, a nice helping of humor, and I hear that the plot of Bowser's Inside Story is pretty tasty. So make it happen, Nintendo. Let the story about Bowser's insides get the chance to be shared on the Wii U. So, those are just 5 DS games that Nintendo should bring to the Wii U Virtual Console that I haven't played yet, and there are still a ton more. There's Kirby Campus Curse, Elite Beat Agents, Advance Wars Dual Strike, Advance Wars Days of Ruin, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, and yada yada yada. And that's not even including all the third-party titles that it would be nice to have on the service as well. I'd like to check out the puzzling platformer Henry Hatsworth and the Puzzling Adventure, one of the multiple Final Fantasy games like Final Fantasy IV, or even Chrono Trigger. These DS games that Satoru Iwata promised would be coming to the Wii U have been a long time coming, and I think it's about time they kick things into gear and started plopping these babies out like chicken eggs. People are going to buy them, and if they are priced reasonably, it will just sweeten the deal. But go ahead and sound off in the comment section below and tell me what DS games out of its vast library you would like to see hit the Wii U Virtual Console. And it doesn't matter if it's first party, third party, or even a Japan exclusive. Just throw out your wildest dreams. And that will bring us to the end of this video. If you like what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up and add your favorites and all that good stuff, and you can stay tuned for more videos in the future. But I will talk to you in the next video, guys. Bye!